Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So I'm just driving my car for about 20 minutes, so I thought I'd be productive and do a bit of talking at the same time. I did try and make a video the other day on my half marathon running plan that's come along, but I filmed it in 4K and it doesn't matter if I tried home Wi-Fi, 5G or 4G, wherever it was. It took days and days and days to upload it to YouTube, and they kept on cancelling. So from now on, I'm going to record everything in just HD, not 4K. I could film in 4K. I've done it before with my GoPro. If I saved it to my laptop and then edited it, but at the moment I'm not editing videos. I'm just uploading them raw. So a 20-minute 4K video is obviously too big of a file to work properly, so I won't. Could have gone then. Basically what I was saying was how my running plan goes off. A couple of weeks ago I think I did 30 miles, the most in a week, a few weeks ago, but then just before this training plan started I only did 20, so I'm going off roughly something like 20 or 30 a week. And I'm going to add on 10% each week. Of total miles. And then I'm going to break that up into 6 days a week. One of them being a long run. Now, this year, recently, the first long run I've been on is 8 miles. Well, it was before the last few days. So it was 8 miles. So I did a bit of a plan on Excel where I added on 10%, 10%, 10%. So 8.8, 9 point something, 10 point something, up until a few weeks before the half marathon. And then I think it's a 7-week plan. So week 7 would be 12 something. The next one would be a low miles, something like 7, just to keep the fitness up at a fast 7. And then the 5 days before the half marathon, nothing serious, just a couple of little runs just to stop yourself seizing up. I'm ahead of myself so far. Haven't really added up the mileage yet, because on Garmin, when you look at the last 7 days for your runs, it's just the last 7 days. But on Strava, it works out the last week, 7 days. So Monday to Sunday, Monday to Sunday. So Garmin at the moment is including today's Saturday, Saturday to Saturday, but I want to have it Monday to Saturday. So I'm not really sure what my total miles is this week so far, but I can hear it squeaking. But the first run was supposed to be 8.8 and actually did 9.2, because I went on a canal run and I turned right at the canal, and after about 1 mile there's a family of swans on the canal. On the path. It's only narrow, I couldn't get past, so I had to turn around and go the opposite direction. When I got to where I changed direction, I had to work out in my head how many miles I've done so far and how many miles I've got to do to get back to make it 8.8, and I slightly overestimated it, or underestimated it. So instead of doing 8.8, I did 9.2, which wasn't a bad thing. It means I did 0.4 further. Didn't really struggle, wasn't that bad. I could have done 10, could have done further. So that was that. The next week then, I thought, well, do I add on 10% to what I should have done, or 10% of what I did do? So I went for the further, and it should have been 10 points, whatever it was. And then I think I added on a bit more to that as well. Sometimes you can plan in your head to do 10 and it'll come out at 9.9 or 10.1, depending on the sat-nav GPS signal, or if you cut a corner. By the time you cut 10 miles worth of corners, it could be a bit less, or if you go round a bit further. So if you plan a route on the Garmin app, it's not always accurate because you can't zoom in far enough, and it is what it is. I'm not going to be that fussy about 0.1 of a mile, but my long runs on paper are slightly further than what they should be. Speed time wise, on the long run, I don't really mind. I'm not after half marathon pace. I'm not after interval training when I'm doing 1 mile at half marathon pace or whatever. It's just get the miles in the bag, come back, no injuries, not too tired. That's just the mileage, get the mileage up. So hopefully quite slow. So sometimes I set my watch for some like 10-minute miles, and I might come back at 9:40 or 9:30. Just depends where the course is. The other day when I did 10 miles, it was slightly like uphill for the first 5 miles, and then when you turn around to come back, it was slightly downhill. So I got to the 10-mile point about actually dead on time. So I knew that when I come back, I could either slow down or be ahead of myself. So winner. I've done a few fast runs, and this is where the last video made the main topic of the video was about, really. But I haven't run a half marathon for a while, so I don't know what pace I could do it in. I'm not letting you know. My personal best is obviously a different route to what it's going to be on the race in a few weeks' time. So I can't really compare it, really. My personal best was on a flat route, slightly uphill for the whole 12 miles. The first mile was downhill really fast, so I sprinted downhill, got ahead of myself, and then it's basically 12 miles gradually uphill on a canal path with lots of hedges and a couple of sharp corners. There was gravelly type tracks, so it saps your energy a little bit. The race that I'm doing in a few weeks' time is going to be, I'm guessing, mainly tarmac. Through the town centre, there's quite a few cobbled streets, a couple of hills, a couple of corners, and the start and finish is in this showground place. And I can't remember if it's gravel or grass or loose tarmac. I can't remember what it is. So I can't really compare it. There's a lot more corners compared to what I did last time. But my record time unofficially is 1 hour 48. No, 1 hour 49. So my goal would be just to do 1 hour 48. That would beat it. I think that works out 8:17 or 8:16 minute miles. I haven't done a fast 10k for a while either. So I have done some fast 5ks. I've done a few park runs. There's 3 different routes I've done. One is a really hilly one in the forest. One was quite a flat route, and one was, it's got 3 hills on it. So I can't remember what website it was, but I googled it and it said there's a way of estimating it. Take your 5k time and work out how fast you did for 1 mile and times it by 10%. So I did that, and it came out with quite a fast half marathon time. I don't think I'd be able to do it. And then what I did, I went to a hotel gym last weekend, I think it was, and I went on the treadmill and I did the 5k. It hasn't come up on my Garmin, because even though the treadmill said 3.1 miles, my Garmin thinks I did 2.8 or 2.9 miles, so it's not registering. I tried to edit the distance, but you can't add on distance, you can only chop off distance. So it's not registering as a record, but I did stick to, I think it was 7 minutes, 2 seconds would make it, I'm not sure if it was a PB or like a 21 and a half minute 5k. The first couple of seconds on a treadmill, it took a long time for it to get up to speed. So what I did was I pressed start, maybe 10 seconds getting up to speed. I tried to keep it at 6.9 minute miles, I think it was, because you can't do it on the treadmill. It wouldn't change it 7.1, 7.2. It went up in like 3.3 increments or something crazy. So because I started off walking and jogging, I had to pick the pace up. So I don't really know. I wasn't looking at what I was actually doing. I was looking at my average pace. and I knew I wanted to beat 7:02, so I cranked it up, and the last mile or half mile, every like 10th of a mile, I think I cranked it up more. So I actually finished it, averaging pace was 6 minutes 54, which works out at 21:20, I think, 5k. I'm not sure if it was easier or harder indoors. I think it's easier because you've got no hills, and all you got to do basically is jump up in the air, and the treadmill zooms underneath you. On the real world, you've got to actually push yourself forward or the world behind. On the real world, you've got a couple of uphills, but then you've also got downhills. You've got a bit of wind in your face, but you've also got wind behind you. You've got other people, you've got a breeze, you've got fresh air. On the treadmill, it was hot. There was no air conditioning or fans. I was sweating, sweat was going in my eyes. It's hard to concentrate for 21 minutes just running by yourself in the pain zone at a constant pace as well. I think usually I like to go a bit fast, a bit slow, a bit fast, a bit slow. But constant pace for 21 minutes is quite hard when it's at that 5k pace. It's so add on 10% to that. So 6:54, 10% on it. I can't remember what it was in my head when I'm driving. I think it was 7 15-minute miles. There's no way I could do that for half a marathon. No way. I struggled to do that on the treadmill. In the real world, 8 something seems fast. So I don't know. I got about 37 days, 5-ish weeks it is, to get a couple of long runs in and then get some speed work in. I'm not going to get much fitter in that time, but I can get used to the running. I can get used to pushing myself and see what I can do, get some confidence in knowing I can do 8.5-minute miles or 9 whatever minute miles. Maybe lose a bit of weight, and then on the day with motivation, I might be able to push out a bit further from chasing someone. But I might just go conservative and say 8.5-minute miles. I might just go for the 1:48 time, try and beat that. Or there is another option which I might do, is I know someone else who's running this race, and their personal best, I think, is 2 hours. It's actually with me as well, about 2 years ago. So they just want to beat 2 hours. They probably want to go about an hour and 55. So I might just do that, because yeah, it's not going to be my personal best, but my personal best is only 6 minutes faster than that anyway. It's not a lot to shout about. I'm not going to be doing any world records or hour and a half or really decent times. So it'd still be quite a decent run. It'd be nice to get out the house and do almost 2 hours worth of jogging with people, and you still get the same atmosphere and stuff. A bit less stress for me, having to worry about what time I can do. I'm not going to be pushing myself as much, but I'm not going to be hurting myself as much. And all I'm going to lose is 6 minutes of my chip time, which it's not going to make me any money, or it's not going to affect my life in any way. But the positive side is I can help someone else to push to their limits. So at least one of us can get a personal record. Or if anything, at the end of the day, even if they don't get a personal record, they come in 2 hours, it's just a nice day out. Sort of like, you still get a bit of motivation to do a run. I could just run 30 miles down the canal by myself. But it's nice to get out, get a participation medal. You can say you've done it. New course to do, things like that. So I'm not sure. I might go with myself and do my personal record, or if they want me to run with them, because they're not. The problem with them is they got, with they, he, she, it. The problem with the person I know is their Garmin's a bit bust. So sometimes it says the same mileage as me on the same route, like 5 miles, but sometimes they come back and they say they've only done 4 miles when they've done 5. Something's wrong with their GPS on their Garmin. I got the Phoenix 7, they got the Phoenix 6, and they've rang up Garmin support line before, and they said to change it from Galileo GPS to GLONASS GPS, or both. Something wrong with their sat-nav GPS. So if they're trying to pace it on a day when the watch goes wrong, sometimes it says 9-minute miles and it flicks to 7-minute miles. So they could seriously do really slow. So they might want me to go run with them just to keep my watch on the pace. In which case, I'm going to sacrifice my personal best for someone else, which isn't a too bad thing because, like I said, my personal best is only 5 or 6 minutes quicker than what their goal is anyway. So it might just be worth me just to run with someone else. I could talk at the same time and I'll be a bit fresher. But at the end of the day, it is a race though. So I think even if I ran with them for 6 miles and then went off by myself for 6, I'm not really going to get a personal record because going that slowness, that slow pace for 6 miles, even if it's conserving my energy, I won't be able to get back that much time on another 6. I'd have to go way quicker. If I was a minute slower, I'm going to have to go a minute faster than pace, and that's impossible. The only thing I can do is maybe like 10 seconds slower than pace for the first 6 miles, and then push the pace for the next 6 miles, and then all out for the last mile. I think going a minute per mile slower, it's not going to cut it. So I got the choice. I might flip a coin or something. Do I go their pace or my pace? And if I do my pace, I got a couple more weeks to decide what I think I can stick at. Because my Garmin watch keeps predicting I can do some crazy times. It's saying I could do a 5K in under 21, when on treadmill I only got 21:20. That's another 10 seconds per mile off. It's saying I could do 10K faster than I have done for ages. It always predicts mega fast because it's based off my heart rate, the predictions, and I know I got quite a low heart rate. So what I'm going to have to do is do a couple more long runs on the flat and add in some half-mile paces and see, am I comfortable doing 8:30, 8:15, 8, maybe some 7s, and go from there. But at the moment, training's going good. Like I said, long miles are going up about 10% each week. Total distance going up about 10% each week. And then I'm having at least one rest day a week and planning in a couple of shorter runs. So obviously last weekend I did a park run on the Saturday. Then on the Monday I did a 5K on the treadmill. The week before that I did a park run somewhere else. I'm doing some like 4-mile runs but at a faster pace. I did a 5-mile run the other day where 2 of the miles were fast and 3 of the miles were quite slow. So a bit of interval pacing. The only problem is I can see so far is my right ankle has started to hurt a little bit in the last couple of days. I'm hoping it's not shin splints or Achilles tendon or something, because my miles have gone up significantly since May and June. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and then it should wear off in a couple of days, because that's just another excuse that is. I didn't do a personal record because it was hurting again. My trainers have lost a bit of grip on the outside, so I think they're about due to get some replacements. My Strava says the trainers I'm using now have done 462 miles. Recommended is about 300 to 500, so they're in the zone for replacing. But the last running trainers I did, 1,300 miles, so maybe a bad ankle means replace my gear, get some new fresh socks, get some new trainers. I don't really need to start using deep heat and ibuprofen, but stretches, warm baths, things like that. Maybe some Achilles type calf raises and all the usual little things you should be doing. But at the end of the day, it's 4 or 5 weeks left, so there's not a lot you can do really for improving strength or size or anything like that. Just keep doing the miles, keep doing the speed work, keep doing the resting, and then just recover. Because as the miles get further, that's where the pain comes in more. I need to recover more. So really, the long runs should be getting slower and slower and slower. And then use the short mile runs for pace. Don't go further and faster, change just one of them. So if I'm gonna go further, go slow. If I wanna go faster, run short. And then hopefully, as that all joins together, you should get faster and further and faster and further, because your aerobic system's getting trained, your anaerobic system's getting trained. So that's my video for this week about running. It should have happened the other day, but like I said, I couldn't upload it at 4K. So I've done it this time with just normal HD. Still filming on my iPhone. I'm not using my GoPro yet. So it's no-handed. My iPhone's on the quad lock. I've got my DJI mic down the bottom there. And like I said, training's going well. And I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned.